I'm Monica and I'm a chemical engineering student at the University of Waterloo. I'm now in 4th year and I thought it would be helpful to make you a video about some tips for 1st year and to help you out with making your decision in case you're having a hard time since you can't go on tours anymore because of COVID-19. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is res. So I lived in UW Place and I liked it because it was really close to all my engineering classes. It was like less than a 5-minute commute and I found that amazing. I also like how I was able to cook some of my own food sometimes and I didn't have to share my bathroom with anyone, so that was really cool. Some of the cons or like less favorable things about UW Place are like how it's kind of really pricey in comparison to the dorm style places, and also with the different meal plan you kind of have to cook sometimes just to like have enough money to go all term. And also it is one of the quieter places, so if you're looking for like a place where it is more social and there are lots of parties, and I would recommend like Rev or V1 or some of the college campuses. Yeah, so summary, like if you want to be super close to class and you want to cook your own food sometimes, and also like having your own bathroom in your own apartment, then UW Place is for you. If you don't mind walking a little longer to class and you want a more tight-knit group, then a dorm style like Rev or V1 or the college campuses would be more for you. Also, I wanted to talk about MKV. So MKV is a really similar place to UW Place, but it's on the other side of campus. So actually, if you're an engineer, I really don't recommend that because it's just like a lot further, but it's also an apartment style. So the only difference between UWP and MKV that I know of is how they have air conditioning in MKV, which only makes like a difference in the first couple of weeks. So in my opinion, it's not really worth it to walk further for the rest of the year just to have a few cooler couple of weeks. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is how your schedule will look like. So again, I was in chemical engineering, so I'm not really speaking for all the programs, but most of the engineering programs should look like this. You usually start your day at 8:30 and you go on until 4:30. You get like one lunch break at around 12:30 or 11:30 for an hour. So you have lectures and tutorials. Tutorials are where you do like group work and problem solving, or you could do them individually. And then lectures are where the prof will like explain the course content. They might do some examples. Normally lectures are like 50 minutes and then you have another like subject, so you're not stuck doing the same thing the whole day, and you might have some tutorials in the afternoon or on like other days. And normally you're actually in the same room for like all lectures and tutorials, unless it's like a lab and you have to go to another building, but normally it's just the same room for the whole day with the same people. So that's one thing that I found really cool, because you don't have to like walk around to other buildings when you only have like 10 minutes between each class, so you don't have to worry about that too much. Also, if you have labs, you might have like a night lab like I did, which was at like 7 o'clock, but normally it's 8:30 to 4:30. So I wanted to talk to you about something that I found super helpful. So WEEF is the Waterloo Engineering Endowment Fund, and it's basically a group of teachers' assistants that help first-year engineering students, and they make like tutorials and they review class content, and I found that to be super helpful, especially during exam time. They'll have like review sessions, and they usually have like weekly tutorials throughout the term, or like drop-ins just to ask questions and get clarification. Yeah, and they'll do like lots of examples to clarify content, and I thought that this was a super helpful resource. And they're also only like a couple of years older, so they're not really intimidating. You can ask them all the questions in the world and they'll explain things really well. Here are my study tips. I recommend trying to do problems independently, definitely. There's lots of group work in engineering and it's really great, but I also think it's super important to try things on your own first, and it'll definitely help you prepare for exams. I think you should definitely try to redo all like tutorial problems and lecture problems if you need more practice, and do your assignments yourself, and also read over your lecture notes if you can, like every couple of weeks, just to keep all the information fresh in your mind for those exams. I also think I found that when I sat in like later rows of the lecture hall, it's a lot easier to like stop paying attention or get distracted, and it can be hard to kind of see the board. So I definitely recommend sitting in like the first few rows to the middle rows, just so you can pay attention as much as you can and ask all your questions. So yeah. Here are my time management tips. So I definitely think that if you're in like engineering, don't try to spend more than 1 hour on like one problem. I think that it's better to take a break and come back to it later, and you'd be surprised how you'd be able to solve it afterwards. So that's definitely a huge tip that I found helpful. Also, I would try to work on things as soon as you get them, just to avoid things piling up. But like, if you're good at cramming, then don't worry about this, because that's just work for me. Also, I would try to spend equal amounts on each subject, unless there's one that you're super comfortable with, and in that case you just keep an eye on it. Like Calculus 1 happens to be like a review of grade 12 calculus, so I didn't find that too challenging, but linear algebra was completely new to me, so I needed to spend more time on that. One thing I wish I had done is join some design teams in first year. It can be a really great way to meet lots of new people and learn super technical skills that can make you like really attractive to employers. You can often learn like coding or other like working with hardware, simulating processes, like all sorts of cool stuff. And it's super important to show that you have excellent time management skills, because you were able to use some of your time to study and the rest of your time to join a club. Also, I would say to get some hobbies like going to the gym, reading, biking, running, whatever you can think of, cooking, just to blow off some steam so you don't burn out in first year, because taking breaks can be really important when you're studying constantly. And the last thing I wanted to quickly touch on was the co-op program at Waterloo. It is definitely one of the biggest pros to going to Waterloo, is that you get the amazing opportunity to work with like 6 different employers for 4 months each. You get to learn a ton of hands-on stuff, and it has definitely been an amazing experience. Yeah, I definitely recommend that, and I'll make another video all about co-op, so just watch out for that. Thank you, bye!